This is Phil Toko and you're watching the Agri-Food Safety Minute, the web series designed to get you one step closer to GAP certification every week. Last episode we took you through the steps of making a field map for your farm. In the last episode we actually used the Rogers farm as an example farm. As was stated previously, the Rogers farm is an actual farm in the Michigan State University system. We will be continuing to use that farm as an example for this episode as well as a couple of other episodes in the series. So once you've put together a map for your field, the next step is to look for potential issues with regards to food safety. The first step in assessing food safety risks is actually to look at an aerial view of the area around your farm. I often use Google Maps to do this, just like for the typical map that we created in the last episode. So when I'm looking to use the aerial view to assess any potential risks, I actually go into Google Maps and then I type the address that I'm looking for. So the first thing I want to do is pull up Google Maps and then type in the address of my farm that I'm trying to assess. Once I do that, then what I want to do is really look at what structures and what potential problems are in the area that could potentially cause a food safety hazard. First thing I notice right here is there's a large body of water over off to the southeast. So that water body off to the southeast could serve as a harborage point for wildlife, particularly waterfowl, who may congregate there throughout the season. In addition, I see a small, what looks to be a riparian area directly south of the farm. Again, there are a lot of trees to the south and to the west of the farm, which could potentially cause issues with regards to wildlife moving from the forested area into the fields. So from an aerial view, it actually looks pretty good. We have standard wildlife issues, and there are a few water bodies in and around the area which could potentially cause some waterfowl to move into our fields and wildlife. Now the next step, after I've gone through and looked at an overview by way of satellite images on Google Maps, is to actually drive the property and drive around the area of the property to ensure that I'm accounting for things that I can't see via the aerial view. So once we've looked at an aerial map of the Rogers Reserve, it's time to go and look around the grounds and literally drive the area around the farm to make sure that anything that may have not shown up on the aerial map can be seen on the ground. So let's go. So as I drive along the farm, I notice a number of things that actually are of concern that weren't terribly apparent from the aerial view. First off, I noticed that the neighbor to the north side has a small brood of chickens right directly adjacent to the field. That could pose a potential problem because manure from the chickens can readily go into the field. So another thing that I'm looking for are any concentrated animal feeding operations or landfills that could potentially cause problems with contaminating the crop in the field itself. Once I've explored all of the field borders on the ground, it allows me to be pretty conclusive with regards to understanding the risk posed by wildlife as well as the surrounding area. The next step is to actually take this information and use it to craft a mitigation strategy. In our next episode, we'll use this information that we've collected today via aerial maps and our drive-by and import that information into our food safety minute. Thanks for joining us this week. We hope to see you again next week on the Agri-Food Safety Minute.